Fixture for me in the number 2 slot is free expression, just below the need to sustain life itself. That is because I have enjoyed free expression in this country all my professional life and fully expect to continue to do so. Personally, I suspect highly unlikely to be arrested for whatever laws exist to contain free expression because of the undoubtedly privileged position that is afforded to those of a high public profile. So my concerns are less for myself and more for those more vulnerable because of their lower profile. Like the man arrested in Oxford for calling a police horse gay, or the teenager arrested for calling the Church of Scientology a cult, or the cafe owner arrested for displaying passages from the Bible on a TV screen. When I heard of some of these more ludicrous offences and charges, I remembered that I had been here before in a fictional context. I once did a show called Not the 9 O'Clock News some years ago, and we did a sketch where Griff Rhys-Jones played Constable Savage, a manifestly racist police officer to whom I, as his station commander, is giving a dressing down for arresting a black man on a whole string of ridiculous, trumped up and ludicrous charges. The charges for which Constable Savage arrested Mr. Winston Kadogo of 55 Mercer Road were these: walking on the cracks in the pavement, walking in a loud shirt in a built-up area during the hours of darkness, and one of my favorites, walking around all over the place. He was also arrested for urinating in a public convenience and looking at me in a funny way. Who would have thought that we would end up with a law that would allow life to imitate art so exactly?
To him, the right to express oneself freely is fundamental, ranking up there with the basics of survival. He's enjoyed the luxury of speaking his mind, but he's worried about the rest of us getting shut down over silly things. Imagine being fined because someone thinks you insulted a horse. It sounds absurd, but these cases are real. And to Rowan, it's a grim echo of one of his old sketches where people got arrested for the most ridiculous reasons. Only this time, it's not a punchline. Rowan's message is clear. When offense becomes a reason for punishment, we've lost sight of the bigger picture. Atkinson then digs into why criticism has become so dangerous.
The clear problem with the outlawing of insult is that too many things can be interpreted as such. Criticism is easily construed as insult by certain parties. Ridicule easily construed as insult. Sarcasm, unfavorable comparison, merely stating an alternative point of view to the orthodoxy can be interpreted as insult. And because so many things can be interpreted as insult, it is hardly surprising that so many things have been, as the examples I talked about earlier show. Although the law under discussion has been on the statute book for over 25 years, it is indicative of a culture that has taken hold of the programs of successive governments that, with the reasonable and well-intentioned ambition to contain obnoxious elements in society, has created a society of an extraordinarily authoritarian and controlling nature. That is what you might call the new intolerance, a new but intense desire to gag uncomfortable voices of dissent.
It's like society has become so allergic to criticism that even harmless sarcasm is seen as a criminal act. He calls this the new intolerance, a fake open-mindedness that only tolerates people who think the exact same way. It's a kind of groupthink that pretends to be progressive but actually stifles real progress. He's got a point. When everyone's so focused on silencing each other, nobody's left to ask the important questions. Here's where Rowan's solution comes in.
I am not intolerant, say many people, say many softly spoken, highly educated, liberal-minded people. I'm only intolerant of intolerance. And people tend to nod sagely and say, oh yes, wise words, wise words. And yet if you think about this supposedly inarguable statement for longer than 5 seconds, you realize that all it is advocating is the replacement of one kind of intolerance with another, which to me doesn't represent any kind of progress at all. Underlying prejudices, injustices, or resentments are not addressed by arresting people. They are addressed by the issues being aired, argued, and dealt with, preferably outside the legal process. For me, the best way to increase society's resistance to insulting or offensive speech is to allow a lot more of it. As with childhood diseases, you can better resist those germs to which you have been exposed. We need to build our immunity to taking offense so that we can deal with the issues that perfectly justified criticism can raise. Our priority should be to deal with the message, not the messenger. As President Obama said in an address to the United Nations only a month or so ago, laudable efforts to restrict speech can become a tool to silence critics or oppress minorities. The strongest weapon against hateful speech is not repression, it is more speech. And that's the essence of my thesis, more speech.
He's all about building a tougher society, one that can handle a bit of offense without crying foul. Rather than policing speech, he suggests we should face it, let it roll, and let people develop resilience. Think of it like an immunity booster, he says. If we really want a world that can handle tough ideas, we need to stop hiding from them and start listening, even if it makes us squirm a little. And maybe, just maybe, we might grow stronger for it. Finally, Rowan warns us about the outrage industry, a media frenzy that thrives on blowing things out of proportion.
As Lord Dear says, the freedom to be inoffensive is no freedom at all. The repeal of this word in this clause will be only a small step, but it will, I hope, be a critical one in what should be a longer-term project to pause and slowly rewind a creeping culture of censoriousness. It is a small skirmish in the battle, in my opinion, to deal with what Sir Salman Rushdie refers to as the outrage industry. Self-appointed arbiters of the public good, encouraging media-stoked outrage to which the police feel under terrible pressure to react. A newspaper rings up Scotland Yard. Someone has said something slightly insulting on Twitter about someone who we think a national treasure. What are you going to do about it? And the police panic and they scrabble around and then grasp the most inappropriate lifeline of all, Section 5 of the Public Order Act, that thing where you can arrest anybody for saying anything that might be construed by anyone else as insulting. They don't seem to need a real victim. They need only to make the judgment that somebody could have been offended if they had heard or read what has been said. The most ludicrous degree of latitude.
Picture it. Someone tweets a minor insult, and next thing you know, it's a front-page scandal. The scary part? Authorities feel pressured to step in, even if no one's actually harmed. This is where Rowan's alarm bells ring the loudest. When could be offensive becomes the standard for punishment, freedom of expression starts looking less like a right and more like a privilege that can be yanked away at any moment. Rowan Atkinson's words are a reality check for a world that's increasingly afraid of real conversation. If we want a society that truly values free expression, we've got to be willing to handle opinions that push our comfort zones. So, what do you think? Do you agree with Rowan's stance on free speech and comedy? Or do you see it differently? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Let's keep the conversation going.
The New York Post just released a piece with your name in it. They called you Hassan's rival. I do have to say that I think that, actually, you know what? I probably shouldn't say this. I can say that. I can say
He's going to say it. Oh, he's going to say it, but first context. So in the last month, Hassan has gone through a generational run of puff pieces trying to restore his image in what he calls terrorist insurance.
I did times 100, which I like to call terrorism insurance. This will make the people that constantly cynically claim that I'm a terrorist look even dumber.
This isn't a music video, Hassan.
We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do.
I believe what the Houthis are doing is a good thing. 10 toes fucking down.
Now his latest puff piece made by GQ magazine was such a complete glaze fest that it backfired on him.
An army of girls and gays? not to mention admiring looks of Maxers, would kill to be where I am now next to Piker as he pants in a pair of neon shorts with black Calvin Klein boxers poking out and sunlight glinting off the sweat beaded on his chest hairs.
Definitely does not paint a positive view of the general public as someone who should be listened to about politics. You're wrong about that. Too woke syndrome. See, Asmongold said this article sucks. Well, Asmongold doesn't know how to fucking read. Why do you care about what his perspective is?
Just to be clear, at this point of the stream, Asmon didn't even mention the article once.
I am an experienced media personality. I have an understanding of how these things work. This is literally my professional job, and I'm telling you, my assessment of this is that this is a very good, very humanizing piece.
I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I can just say it. So a lot of people were like kind of saying how, you know, like Hassan has gotten a lot of like posts and everything, these articles written about him and like other opportunities. Yeah, and everybody knows we're rep by the same agency. And like people have even been saying like, bro, like Hassan's agents are working overtime. I told them that. They appreciate the compliments. They do. They're like, thanks. They're seeing our hard work. And what does your agency do for you? Oh, it's real simple. It's basically just getting sponsorship. Do you never take? I haven't taken sponsorships. I pretty much just said nope. That I was like, no, I just don't have time for this because of this shit with my dad, right? They never do any PR for you compared to Hassan, though. Well, I would never ask. I don't ask for that. I mean, I'm in a position now where I don't really have to, you know, like try to go and get anything else.
I do! I'm asking right now! Get him the Rogan interview, you lazy bums! They're in the same city!
A lot of people want me to watch this. What the hell even is that? It's the biggest game.
Yo, what's up, player? Sorry, I was just practicing.
Good tips for buying used cars. Oh, yeah?
Come here, look. See it? A lot of carbon deposits.
Yeah.
Be sure to check these places when buying a used car.
Yeah.
First, find the production date on the bottom of your car's seatbelt. And then, find the vehicle production date on the nameplate. Compare these two dates. If it doesn't match up, it means this car has triggered the airbag system and replaced the seatbelt. Never buy it. Second, we came to the driver's seat. Let's
I
squat
didn't know
down.
that.
Then check
Damn.
the steering column and brake pedal. Look to see if there is a lot of rust on it. If there is any, this indicates that this car may be a flooded car. Never buy it. Third, let's look for these two screws next to the pillar of the
Holy
vehicle.
shit.
Then check if it has any traces of being screwed.
Yeah.
If there is any, it means the car has had the center console replaced.
Wow.
Why replace the console? This must
Crash?
be a big accident. Never buy it. Fourth, let's unscrew the engine oil cap. Then check the back of it. If there is a lot of black oil stains, it means there is something wrong with the car's engine. Never buy it. Finally, find this support beam in the front engine room. Check if there are any signs of welding or deformation on it. If there is any, it means that this car has been involved in a collision. Never buy it. How is it? Have you learned it? Follow me. My homepage has 1,000 car knowledge.
1,000 car knowledge. That's a lot of car knowledge. Good tips for buying used cars. Oh, yeah?
Come here. Look. See it? A lot of carbon deposits.
Work in terms of removing homeless encampments from the city. Since the president signed this executive order in March, 70 homeless encampments have been removed by the U.S. Park Police. There are only 2 homeless encampments remaining in
those are the last bosses. Those are the big ones.
D.C. federal parks under the National Park Service's jurisdiction, and the removal of those 2 remaining camps is scheduled for this week. So the U.S. Park Police will be leading this effort alongside MPD.
Yeah, there it is. And so they're obviously doing this shit like, exactly. And this is, here's another one right here.
Lots of them.
Yeah.
This is just a very small number.
God damn, bro. This is the capital?
That are being taken down, but they're being taken down little by little.
This is like, what the hell is this? What the fuck? Look at this.
And here is actually another one.
This is the capital of America. It's a disgrace.
Over with
oh my God.
There are
the Doge members,
here, living here.
Look at them all.
They just left all of these.
Look, they got all their shit out here and everything. This is insane.
Home,
see, this is the reason why I get pissed off. We send money over to fucking Israel. Because not all these people are they're not bad people a lot of the times, right? These are people that maybe have substance abuse problems. you know, they lost their job, like some bad shit happened to them. Like, I say, fuck funding these other countries. We gotta fund the people that live in this goddamn park. We gotta help them.
And now
Is that your chair?
sanitation is
It's close.
taking it away. I think they're trying to figure out what to take first.
Oh, man, that's the way I see it.
I don't believe anyone is in there.
You think there's no money for these people? This is by design?
Many of them have.
Maybe. Yeah, and you see that that's what they're doing. Yeah, they're collecting all their shit and throwing it away. And it's not really a surprise. And there it is. Yeah. They have the option to leave their encampment, to be taken to a shelter, to be offered addiction and mental health services, and if they refuse, they'll go to jail. Thank God. Thank God. The thing is, a lot of these people are fucking crazy. They're crazy nutballs, and you got to do something about them. You do. Like, you got. This is crazy.
We're going to be removing homeless encampments from all over our parks, our beautiful, beautiful.
And by the way, anybody, like, so if you think that this isn't popular, you know that you retarded. Number one, you retarded. But think about, like, if you had a family, would you want to take your family to a park where a bunch of them are at? No, absolutely not. 100% no. So, like, it's everybody thinks they want to be like, oh, well, like, let's see how they feel, right? Fuck no. Yeah, fuck no, right? And so, really, it's extremely popular. Well, it's not politically correct to say this, but all you need to do is watch how people behave, and that's the real truth. That's what people really think.
A lot of people can't.
That's what's actually going on.
They're very dirty.
That's reality.
We got a lot of problems.
A lot of
We've
problems.
already started that. We're moving the encampments away, trying to take care of.
Put them on the moon.
Some of those people, we don't know how they even got there.
It's only popular among people who don't have to live with this shit. Yeah. I mean, I don't really like. I mean, personally, like, I mean, I'm gonna be. I don't really care that much about this. I don't really give a fuck. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's plenty of homeless people where I'm at. Like, they got their own little fucking rust bases that they got built up. I just think it's interesting to watch. But like, I know that I'm the minority. I'm also like, I could probably outrun like most crackheads. And so, like, really, I'm not really in danger of anything, right? Like, there's nothing that's really gonna happen to me. So it's easy for me to say that it's not a problem because I just run away.
Some of those people are from different countries, different parts of the world. Nobody knows who they are. They have no idea.
You couldn't?
But
No,
they're
trust
there.
me.
We're getting rid of the people from underpasses and public spaces from all over the city.
That's
There are
Rufus under
many
the bridge.
places that they can go, and we're going to help them as much as you can help.
You got to get rid of him.
But they'll not be allowed to turn our capital into a wasteland for the world to see.
Wasteland. Yeah, there it is, right? And so you got another one right here, and this is it. Yep. Yep. Guys, is this what you voted for if you voted for Trump? Is this what you voted for? I'm curious. Yeah. Oh. And she's mad too. That's why they got the gloves on. Let's see if I find any more of these over here too. Nah, this is another one. But let's see if I can find this too. Oh, here we go. Homeless woman reacts.
Give us a home. How about that? How about just giving people that need a home inside? Then we'd be inside.
Yeah.
You just want to just throw us to the rats.
Nope, that's not the problem. Is that you're with the rats right now. I think that they should do that. They got to have a place to put these people. They definitely do. Yeah, I mean, like, that's clearly what you got to do. I mean, it's obvious with whose money. I mean, you got to do, like... Oh, here we go.
Man, down the city is quiet as a church mouse, man. I came all the way down Pennsylvania Avenue this morning. So peaceful, yeah. I don't smell no weed, yeah. I don't see no homeless people. I mean, I came all the way through the southeast side, all the way down here.
You mean they got this under control in 2 days? It took 2 days? What?
You see now I'm at the White House jump, man.
Oh, they're gone. Wait, that's that same statue that you had all the tents at.
It's quiet, yeah. It's a shame that it takes somebody to have to sit in your classroom in order for you to be in order, yeah. Because that's what it feels like, yeah. You gotta be babysitter to do your job, yeah. Stuff been out of control for years.
It's embarrassing. How these retards get in control?
You gotta do better, yeah. You gotta do better, yeah. And mainly, young, you got the problems. It's us, man. It's always us giving everybody a bad name, man.
Oh, no.
We'll see how long this lasts, yeah. How many murders was it last night? How many carjackings was it last night? Talk to me. And y'all keep on posting all these data numbers and things of that nature that y'all see everybody else reposting. The stuff that came from the Metropolitan Police Department and the mayor, yeah.
Didn't they get in trouble for making shit up?
Let me tell you something, yeah. Let me tell you something. You can't be that stupid. You can't be, man.
They're not. They're lying. The thing is, if the data showed something that was the opposite, they'd be saying it was bullshit. They don't care about the data.
Who enters that information to get that data analysis?
Yeah.
People do.
Exactly. People, who's putting the data in? Well, let's rename a carjacking to, like a civil dispute. Well, okay, well now things look a lot better.
You can enter whatever numbers you want to make whatever report show what, but you can't hide the crime, young. You can't do it.
See, this is what I said before. Is like you can have every graph in the world, but whenever you go and you just look over there, where are they? Oh, they're gone? Shit, I guess it worked. Because they were there and now they're not there. Well, they're gone. That's it.
Let me give you something to break it down to you for those that don't understand. I retired from UPS, right? So what they used to do to play with the numbers or whatever, we have mission packages, you'll have drivers over the hours. They go in and enter the information and the report will show whatever they needed to show to keep their bonus that week for their bosses.
How many of y'all have people that play funny games with the timesheets? Well, I got here... I mean, I pulled in the building at, 3:15. So, I didn't get to my desk till 3:40, but let's just say I went through the badge check at 3:25, so I was kind of on the clock. Everybody does it. We all know that. Everybody knows this. This happens everywhere, but we're supposed to expect that it's not happening with this.
Fire their ass. So stop believing that stuff.
Wait, we're not supposed to do that?
And I don't know if you ever had to deal with the DC government, young, but they suck, young. They have got a lot more better now that the officers have did what they had to do and got all of these people out of the government and got rid of the riffraff and things of that nature. People actually do work now.
Imagine that.
Let me give you this for example, right?
Wow.
You got carry and conceals or whatever that were being issued by the DC separate department that was handling the gun licensing and things of that nature. They went from turnaround time for like 4 months, 5 months for you to have to get a gun registered.
5 months? Are you kidding me?
In DC and get a carry and conceal to 2 weeks.
How do you do that? How do you go from 5 months to 2 weeks? You get the retards out. You just get the retards out. You fire the retards. That's it.
It used to take you 3 months just to get an appointment to talk to somebody.
It's that simple.
And take your information and your gun down there.
Yeah.
Now, you go online right now and they got appointments available tomorrow.
Wait, you can use the internet?
How does that happen?
What?
What changed? You put some fire under their asses, and now they want to do some work.
Yeah. It's so easy. And the thing is that, look. Where's it at? Where's him showing it? Look how happy he is. Wow. Wow. Look at that. The impossible problem that nobody could solve was solved in 2 days. Can you believe that? Oh my God. That's crazy. What a surprise. This is, damn, what a big old shock. Nobody could have expected this. And let's see, what is this here?
Maybe help with something?
Yeah. Oh, good. Oh, good. He ain't got shit, but he got an iPhone.
Back, they arrested him on the street a few months later. He was homeless, living close to my apartment building near Union Station on Capitol Hill. And they went on to arrest him 5 more times. And
Don't they get sick of this? I thought catch and release was supposed to be for fish. These are the 2%ers I'm talking about, boys. I said, remember when I said all of our problems will be solved if you just get those 2%, you round them up, you get rid of them. I told you it's this fucking simple. It's 2% of our problem. All of our problems are caused by just such a small percentage of people.
released him from jail every single time at the order of the judge of the court. And for me, that was something that put his safety over my safety. They got his DNA.
Yeah, they sure did, didn't they? Yeah. Oh no! Oh no! No! You know, I've said this before. I used to be against racism. And I'm still generally against racism. But I can see why it's fun. We all know exactly what this bitch is about to say. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it.
All right, it's August 11th. I am outside Union Station in D.C.
Oh, she got that bullshit on her ears, too. Oh, wow. We got ourselves an elite here. She's really about that life.
Where folks on the ground are telling me that they are about to start rounding up unhoused people tonight.
You mean homeless?
The folks here at the encampment in front of Union Station are handing out these whistles to give to unhoused folks. That way they have a way to call for help if they are kidnapped by federal law enforcement.
What do you mean call for help? Like, what do you think they're gonna do? Like, what do you mean call for help? Like, call from help from who? Like, this is amazing. Like, you really, honestly, we need to have a system. I really want to have a system. I would do this where these people get to live with those people. I do. I would make a system like that. And I would, you know, everybody knows what would happen. Everybody knows. Yeah, it make it a law. Yeah, now you have to make it a TV show. Yeah, I like that. That's a good one. Yes. Trade their houses for rent. Yeah, they'll just annoy everyone with the whistling. Yeah, make it a show, call it Karen's House. Unhoused people, make it sound passive, like they had no choice. A lot of people that are homeless are actually victims of bad circumstances. Not everybody that's homeless is a crackhead, drug addict, lazy piece of shit. I'm actually like, you know, as I've said before, I'm actually the most empathetic streamer. I think everybody knows that by now, but in case people forgot, I am. And so I know that these people have problems, but you don't solve those problems by letting them live in a tent outside the Washington Monument. That's not how you don't help them by letting them live in a tent and fucking crash out on fentanyl. Disconnect for 3 hours. That doesn't help them.
And so if you're in the area and able to swing by right in front of Union Station, they have tons of these. Bring them back to folks in your community so they have a way to call for help. If you are not in DC, I'm going to tag Free DC Project. They are an excellent organization helping the community here locally. Definitely follow them, support them if you can, and help spread the word, because this is how a fascist authoritarian regime starts. So I will be on the ground in DC reporting on the shit show happening. So stay tuned.
So you just got another one of these privileged, overprivileged, obnoxious, delusional, suicidal empathy, upper middle class white girl that, I mean, let's be honest, like if you've got all this, if you are this young and you've got money to get tattoos like this, these are some good tattoos. You've got piercings, you've got all this stuff, you've got time to go out and fuck around with this. Your life is way too fucking comfortable. That's what it is. You have a completely comfortable life and you don't understand, like this is a very overprivileged, exactly, completely overprivileged, massively overprivileged. She an OnlyFans girl? I don't know if she's OnlyFans. I have no idea. I don't really, like as I said, I don't know about that. But oh, here we go. Homeless man is angry that President Trump is kicking out the homeless from DC. Uh-oh.
He's saying he don't want to see a tent on his streets. He don't want to see. Yeah, it pissed me off. That pissed me off because here it is, no crime being committed, no drugs out there, no alcohol.
Tell me there's no crimes? There's nothing like that that's happening? What about like fucking, like you really think that you're able to just make a tent and just live in a public park? Like you can't do that. Like you can't do that. Like what do you mean?
Telling people, I don't want to see you out here. I don't want to see your tent because he take this highway every day.
Yeah.
Okay, take another highway.
Everybody's got to drive around you. We all got to drive around you because you want, no, bro, like get the fuck out of here. What is this? Is it a public health thing? Where do they take a dump? Well, you see over there?
I once had a little respect for him, man, but this here kicking a man deeper under the bridge.
Yeah.
You know, we already ain't got nothing, but he just kicking us deeper into the dirt.
As opposed to the good decision, which would be to let you continue living in a tent. In the middle of fucking nowhere. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's really evicting a tent.
All because we got a tent up on somebody property. Federal.
Somebody, I don't know. Oh, he's obviously like, you know this is, you know you're bullshitting. You know you're bullshitting, and that's why you're trying, oh, somebody, I don't know, like, we don't know.
State somebody property, and ain't nobody handing out no signature, nobody putting their signature on nothing. They all basically going by what Trump said.
Whose shopping carts are these? Not yours. What is this, man? This is like, bro, you know what this reminds me of? Remember the first day of New World, whenever everybody had their own little tents out? And like outside of every little town, there'd be a bunch of little tents. Fucking everywhere, right? I mean, they turning this shit back, yeah. Day one rust, yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't think there is any jurisdiction that spends the kind of resources that we spend
to
try to match people who are living on the street We are planning based on the notices.
So you have a lot of money and you still have all this? Damn, good job. Good job. You guys really doing a great job.
We are planning to close this one tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. My favorite part about this is the pride sign in the background. Let me get this straight. This is all about, like, you trying to do some parade where people are flipping their dicks around. Meanwhile, you got people living in tents. Where's the priorities here? What's in that bottle? Yeah, somebody says it's not apple juice. I got a feeling it is not.
To safe and affordable housing.
Uh-oh.
That is the underlying goal of this administration. It is what has driven Mayor Bowser since she came into office in 2015, and it's what drives us today. Now, there are challenges, and we try to work with those challenges, but I don't think anybody could take a fair assessment of DC and come away with any conclusion other than the district is working extremely hard on this very...
Really, nobody could come to that conclusion? What about everybody?
Very, very difficult problem.
Yeah. It fucks the grass up too. Knock, knock. Get the fuck out of here. Can you imagine, bro, like, imagine being this guy and this guy has the big tent and you have this, like, piece of shit. Like, this guy is kind of like king of the castle, right? He's kind of like that guy. Yeah. He's kind of that guy, isn't he? The city? Yeah, it's the mansion.
He ain't doing nothing for the
Tax the
homeless,
rich?
nothing. All this voucher, that's gonna be years. All this shelter, you can only stay in the shelter so long. And the shelter's filthy, dirty, nasty. You know, but he telling people that actually living a clean, decent life, keeping the area clean.
Keeping the area clean, like...
No trash, no nothing.
There's no trash?
He telling them you gotta go into basically like the gates of hell, which is the shelter. You gotta go through there and you can't sleep outside in the damn street. On the streets, you can't sleep outside.
No, you can't sleep outside. That's right.
Out in the tent on the streets.
No, you can't.
You ain't bothering nobody. You causing no problem. They don't know if it's federal land or state land.
Does it fucking matter? Guys, we're not. There's no garbage anywhere. So you don't understand. Like, we're not doing anything. You don't understand, like, we're just, bro, like, we're just sitting here. Like, there's nothing going on here at all. Oh, no. Oh, my God. If they bring back The View, they got to bring her back on with it. They have to bring Rosie O'Donnell with The View. I feel like that would be like, it would be like when the 7 Deadly Sins finally connected with Escanor. And he finally rejoined them, and they could finally be one cohesive, powerful force. Like, that would be like Rosie O'Donnell joining The View. Straight up, bro, an elite camp. Karen alliance. Straight up real shit.
I left because I read Project 2025 and I knew what the Trump administration was planning to do, and now they're doing it.
Yeah.
And it's getting very scary. He's instituted martial law in Washington, D.C. to crack down on homeless people. Being homeless is not a crime in the United States. And he's doing all this to distract us from the Epstein files and from the fact that he was there and from the fact that he is a sexual abuser.
Oh.
That's the truth. And, you know.
That's nice. That's nice, Grandma. But, like, you still got a bunch of people building rust bases, right? I mean, like, it's not like, but, like, two things can be true at the same time.
How many billionaires do you know have modeling agencies and run beauty pageants and walk in on the young girls naked and brag about it on Howard Stern? Warren Buffett doesn't do that. No, he does not. So, you know, this man
Martial
is
law.
A disgrace to all of humanity.
Man.
And it's very scary what he's able to get away with. So I hope America wakes up pretty soon.
It's crazy. Like, honestly, I hope she never stops making these. I do. This is going to be great content for a long time. And so this is apparently, this was 2022. The song. The fucking song. Oh God. This is 2022. Jesus. Wow. So this is how it was. And you can see all the flags and everything too. The embassies. It's very clear the government doesn't care about its citizens. Yep, I guess not. They don't give a fuck. It's so incredibly sad. It really is. It is, absolutely. And, oh no. Let me guess.
Hey, comrades, if you're in the DC...
I knew it! That was so easy.
area and you are houseless, I really, really urge you, for your own safety, to get out of there or get to the suburbs. Please.
Why don't you just let them live at your house?
He's talking about rounding houseless people up in the DC area. Please get out of DC.
I don't understand what this weird Karen obsession is behind not using the word homeless. Like houseless and homeless. I'm sorry, bro, but this is the same thing. It's not like one of them is good and the other one is bad. Like unhoused, homeless, like this is all the same shit. Like, I don't even think one sounds better. Like, it doesn't even sound better. It's just like, it's just some made up bullshit that these people go and do. It's the same logic as an immigrant. No, that's a different situation, right? And what they're really doing to the homeless in DC, what are they doing? Let's see. Jesus Christ. Hey. No, you don't understand. What this guy really needs to do is he needs to live outside the yogurt shop for the rest of his life. That's actually what's going to help him. No. Being helped by the authorities and like having a place to go in. No. Absolutely not. It's a spit back. Wait, so are you telling me that they put the bag on him because he doing that fucking Jurassic Park Velociraptor shit? He does. Oh my God. Wow, I did not expect that even for a second. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What is this? Mm-hmm. What they're really doing? Yeah, exactly. So they got him, they got a bag on him. This is sad and dehumanizing. What the fuck are the cops doing? Nah, bro. No. You think they put the bag? Like, really? No. Think about this. I'm gonna just ask you a question. Why do you think they got the bag on his head? Why has he got the bag on his head? No, go ahead. Explain it. Why is that? Yeah, he hitting that hawk Tua? Exactly. Like, nobody wants this. What is it, man? I don't know. It's most likely for his privacy. So you don't even know? So wait a minute. So even I don't even understand. So let me get this straight. I'm gonna just this is what I don't understand from people like this, right? Is that you say it's for his privacy, but don't you think that's a good thing? So then how would it be dehumanizing? Because wouldn't you want him to maintain his privacy? So even under your own logic that you've created, it's not a problem. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's dishonest. Yeah, so even that. Now, no, bro. He's spitting on people, bro. It's nasty. Who does this? I can promise it's to protect them from the spit, bro. Believe me. I know. It's contradicting. Nah, it's suicidal empathy. Just like I said before, just like I say again. Homeless was made up to sound nicer than hobo and vagrant. I think vagrant sounds good. That sounds kind of cool, bro. That's like a fucking, like a wandering samurai or something, you know? Like a vagrant. That sounds cool. Like hobo is like, even that's kind of interesting. Like I think homeless sounds like a loser to me. Like I would say, yeah, vagabond. Yeah, that sounds way better. Like vagrant is a class in Dark Souls. Homeless isn't a class in Dark Souls. What about homo? I don't know about that, man. I don't think they have that class in Dark Souls. Well, let's see. I see if there's another one here. And is it protesters? Oh my God, it's protesters. DC is our home. You can have it from. DC is our home. Oh my God. You can have it from. Oh no. DC is our home. You can have it from. Man. By the way, man. We're Nevrons, yeah. We gotta do something about this, bro. Like, yep, there it is. Check out what they're doing to homeless. They're getting them off the streets one way or another. Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy what this is.
But do you feel safe here? I feel safe in this city. I live in a neighborhood.
Because I look over my shoulder every day.
Well, maybe you look over your shoulder, but I'll tell you something. Here are two things that could be done to make this city safer. $1.1 billion was stolen from D.C. in the last budget bill. Give us that money back. We are down 400 police officers from last year.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, just give us more money. We're gonna solve it after that. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, just give us more money.
900 from our peak.
Oh yeah.
Because stealing our money away. So let's.
It's crazy. No, somebody brought up a good point. Imagine if all those fat retards got together and they tried to build a house for those homeless people. They could probably build 3 houses. But that would take work and money and time and effort. It'd be a lot easier to sing along some fucking cringe little chant of feel good. That's it. They couldn't build shit. I mean, they probably have one guy there that could tell them what to do, right? I mean, maybe. That's a stretch. I mean, they could at least do something. They could at least try.
No, it had
They
nothing
could
to do
try,
with defunding the
at
police. It had
least.
to do with taking
At least
our
try.
money away, our taxpayer dollars here. If people are afraid to come to D.C., go to Disney World, get fat, eat French fries. I don't care. I've lived here 37 years. I am not afraid. I live in the city. I'm not afraid of this city. If you're afraid, go ahead. Leave your fear someplace else.
But do you... Nah, bro. Like, I wonder where this dude lives. I wonder where he lives. Do you think he lives around the Nevrons? I bet he doesn't. And also, like, this is the other thing, too, is that, like, he's an able-bodied man. And he's older, but he's not old. So you are in a position that you can defend yourself against most crackheads. The majority of crackheads, you could probably fend them off. And so you don't even think about this. He's in his prime. He's probably not in his prime. I've got a feeling he's not in his prime. But, and that's a compliment, right? But my point is that the guys that say this are the ones, you're cashing checks that 5'1", 90-pound women, you're writing checks that 5'1", 90-pound woman has to cash. Somebody who's disabled has to cash your check. Somebody who's 73 years old and has a comorbidity of maybe oxygen or something like that has to cash your check. That's the problem. Or a little kid, too. Exactly. And so, like, really, that you underestimate the strength of an average crackhead? Nah, the thing is, you have to understand crackheads, that there's a huge spectrum, right? There's, like, the elite crackheads. And then it's kind of like, you've got The Walking Dead and like World War Z. And it really just depends on what it is. Protesters. Oh, it's protesters. Oh, here we go. Please, we are protesting for the right for this guy to live outside the 7-Eleven until he dies in probably 3 years from a drug overdose. Please, please let him continue living outside the 7-Eleven. Please. This is so sick. How does this happen? Not a single one of them is helping him. And by the way, is there a single person in this entire crowd that isn't white? Us white people, we got a problem. It's all white people. I'm starting to see where some of those... I'm starting to see, Dr. Umar, I might start having to listen to him. He might have some, but I'm really starting to see it. Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. Two groups of people? Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, please let him continue living there. And let's see if I find any more of these. And if I don't know if there's any more of this, but that's pretty much where we're at. And anyway, this is pretty much what's happened. ABC News anchor reveals she was jumped by a half-dressed vagrant in D.C. Wow, I would have never expected that. This is a shock. Nobody could have imagined this could have happened. This is the last one we're going to watch, and I want to move on.
Well, yeah, he did it. Trump actually is going to have a federal takeover of Washington, D.C. Not only is he...
For now. Afterwards, it's going to be more places, too, because I guarantee you, once all the normal people in D.C. realize they can go to 7-Eleven without getting stabbed, they're going to be like, damn, this is not really so bad. And, like, he goes and shows those before and after photos, and, like, one of the before is, like, the first day of New World, and then the second one is just, like, a fucking normal fucking park. Everybody is going to want to have this happen in their city. Everybody is.
deploying the National Guard, but he's also federalizing the Metropolitan Police Department, which is going to be run by Pam Bondi. But it gets even worse than that because he's going to have ATF on the streets. The FBI already has been on the streets. He's bringing in the park police to handle all the national park areas of D.C. that they run. He is taking...
Who would you want to have handle it? I mean, really, like, wait a second. So let me get this straight. So this is a criticism of Trump that he's having the park police the parks? What? Why would that?
Every step he can to bring in as much force as possible into Washington, D.C. He says it's to prevent crime, even though violent crime is at a 30-year low in Washington, D.C. He is going after, and this is a test.
I love that talking point because, like, your 30-year low is still the top. It's the fourth highest capital of homicides, or I think it's homicides or violent crime in the entire country. Like, you went from number 2 to number 4. And you want a gold star? No. No, that's not very good. That's bad. That's still bad. That's like being 600 pounds, losing 20 pounds and be like, see, I'm losing weight. You're still fat.
Do not get this wrong. This is another step towards authoritarianism. If you thought LA was bad...
It's actually crazy. Like, honestly, I wish they just replaced these people with AI. I mean, you could program a bot to say this same shit.
Wait for what he's about to do to D.C. because he hates the sight of homeless people. They're gone. I don't know where he's going to move them.
The moon. They're going to the moon.
I assume into camps, and they're going to end up on farms somewhere.
So wait a minute. So they're camping outside, but the problem is he's going to move them in. They're already in camps.
Doing hard labor for people because who's going to be able to check on homeless?
So what's the problem with that?
People, a lot of the time they don't have family, and the family that do don't know where they are. This is a dark day in U.S. history, and guess what? It is going to be only the beginning.
Well, one thing that I think is very nice is that even these crying retards here realize that this is only the beginning. And the reason why it is only the beginning. He's right about that. I'll tell you that. This is going to happen more and more and more.
And I know a lot of people.
Modern women are doomed by this new, what is this here? Anti-paternity fraud law?
People.
What is, oh no, who's this idiot? Oh my God. This guy, by the way.
You guys are 78% sure he's not going to show up on time. That is a pretty strong bias in favor of that. Ambrose Gaming says, you think the court knows about his change of residence? We're going to find that out today too. So if he is hiding that or deceiving that or whatever else, then there is a problem. There's going to be a big problem. So yeah, let's see. Let's see here. Cindy Collins said, bless the 4 p.m. live I can watch while in the hospital operating room on newborn time, watching my 44-hour-old like a hawk and listening to hubby snore loudly. Oh, that's very sweet. Well, listen, stay diligent, but you can continue to listen in, and I'm glad you're here with me. Just be diligent, okay? Kathy Swamp Queen for 5 says Johnny Somali RKI doesn't show up for court. Does South Korea have a warrant system? By the way, 2:34 in Florida time. You know you're special. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for staying up with me. If you're in the U.S., East Coast, Central, West Coast, thank you for staying up. I know it's really late. I know this is kind of a crazy time to do this, but once again, it's in Korea. It's on the other side of the world, guys, and they set the time not based on what's best for U.S. viewership, but what's best for the court. What's best for the court. All right. Ian says, aloha from Hawaii. Bring him here and we can make a pineapple farm around. Mega Meerkat for $2.99. Thank you so much. Darth Torlin says, Darth Torlin raps. Prison can make you old and forgotten. If you walk out, no crowd will call. Fame fades when built on harm. One day left before the cell door slams and no one cares. Let's see here. And it's not, so let me be very clear. Let me be very good. Darth Torlin. Guys, he is not going to be sentenced today. So today is not sentencing day. I've said this 100 million times, but people seem to misunderstand this. Now, Darth Torlin does have great beats, but it is not, he is not going to jail today unless he does something in court, like punching the bailiff or doing the Nux thing where he's trying to stick the fingers in the judge's mouth and he gets laid out by the bailiff. He's not going to jail today, guys. Sentencing will be 1 month. It will probably be 2 months from now or 3 months from now. So he will probably be sentenced in October or November. That's my prediction as of now, depending on whether or not he calls witnesses. So if he calls witnesses, it might even be December. But today is not the sentencing day. Korea intentionally drags the process out. The process is the punishment, right? The process and having to pay for that, having to be outside of court is the punishment in this case. So that's what's going on here with that. All right. Gamercron says, did not sleep for this. Let's go. Let's go of the farm. That's right, the cabbage farm. Jessica Carp says, I call surprise witness Hank's spank rag. Oof. Nicholas Cruiser for 10 says, was cool seeing you doing the debate with Sean. Yeah, Sean's a good guy. Once again, I have a lot of people on. I may have my good friend Ozzy on because people have been trying to push me to comment on the Jobs lawsuit. I need to get more information on Australia law before I do that one. So I may recruit my good friend Ozzy, but we're getting the band back together. We're hanging out more on Legal Mindset with other lawyers. I like that. Black Room Rob says, good day. Tuned in a cool winter afternoon here in Oz. Suffer. Awesome. Larry Power says, what time does the court end? What if witnesses don't finish? Will the judge recess until tomorrow? Explain how Korean court differs from the United States. Korean court is very, very different. They're going to go till it's finished. Now, they do have some semblance of, like, the thing about Korea is they do everything fast. So this could be over in 5 minutes or this could be over in 2 hours. But whichever way it is, they will do it as fast as they physically can do it. So, yeah. Let's see. Natalie Braithwaite says, I may be dealing with an effect of wisdom, but I'm not RKI. Emotional cabbage. Let's drop an emotional cabbage here.
Emotional cabbage.
Okay. And then we've got tradition time. Legal Mindset. Explain insanity plea. How about...
No. Wait.
Scrambles his brain cells together and does the right thing, but I'm welcome to be proven wrong. It won't make right, but it's a step. So we'll see. So today, I've said this before, today is probably the last time where Johnny could credibly, and what I mean is credibly is people might believe it. So if Johnny Somali is going to say sorry, and
Hey, ever considered joining the Reclaimers?
The enemy of my enemy is my friend, or so they say. Our objectives may differ, but we share a common foe. So once again, I welcome you to the Reclaimers.
Honey, it's a win-win.
Greatest mechanic is old for ever.
I'll never. Can you truly kill
Out of everything,
tyrants and reclaim our shining future?
There's merit in the Europeans need to pick up the tab on their defense, and they should have done it earlier. But the way we're doing it, we're overdoing it in some fronts.
Yeah.
And also, you're doing it in such an insulting way. I'll give you some Machiavelli on this one. So he's the founding father of political science. He talked about motivating people with fear, love, and hate. He just says, forget about love, because you can't make people like you, right? You can do everything, people still don't like you. But he says, don't make them hate you. If they hate you, they will fight you. Well, if you're running around serially spitting your allies in the face, they are going to hate you, and it won't work out well. It's just it's a bad strategy. Don't do it. The clickbait of insulting someone who comes to your house, that's very temporary. And also other people viewing it and going, this is what qualifies as American diplomacy. Those memories are long-term. It's unwise. There's merit in the Europeans need to pick up the tab on their
Battlefield has Battlefield has lost 98% of its player base in just one weekend. Guys, is Battlefield dead? Bro, you know what? After yesterday's clip, I think Battlefield is dead. It's done. It was fun. We had a good time, but I think it's time to go back to Fortnite, guys. Yep, sorry guys, that's it. Dead game? Yep, dead game. Somebody said Pirate Software. Why would Pirate Software do this? I don't know why you would do this. Yeah, so this is another game that he killed. And you said stop killing games. He says, I got another one in me. There it is, guys. I'm clueless. And what happened? That was fast. Okay, I guess there's some people. All right. The beta weekend ended. And so some of you guys are probably getting actually confused. The beta weekend ended, so nobody can play the game anymore, right? It's not even released yet. So the beta ended, and so nobody can play it. It's saying that this is obviously a joke, right? It's obviously a joke. Battlefield has lost 98% of its player base in just one weekend. Guys.
Over 40,000 people have died, including Palestinians and Israelis, and large numbers of children and civilians. How can you continue to condone those actions?
Okay, hold on. I want to correct you. I don't just condone the actions of the Israeli Defense Forces and the Israeli government. I celebrate and laud them.
As we are living in a generation of misinformation, when we think about how many generations of young college students have received and been indoctrinated by these liberal professors, the concept that Israel is at war for its survival, people seem to forget. People think, oh, it was just another terrorist attack, and Israel needs to act with restraint and proportionate response, etc. The narrative that has been out there has to be debunked, has to be demythed as soon as possible. Mr. Ben Shapiro does so wonderfully. Please listen to this conversation with a young Jewish boy whose mind has been robbed and kidnapped. Please subscribe to the channel and spread the word to continue on the inspiration.
As an American Jew, how can you continue to condone the actions of the Israeli government, condoned by the U.S. government, in the Gaza Strip, where over 40,000 people have died, including Palestinians and Israelis, and large numbers of children and civilians? How can you continue to condone those actions?
Okay, hold on. I want to correct you. I don't just condone the actions of the Israeli Defense Forces and the Israeli government. I celebrate and laud them. I'm not morally apathetic about what's happening. On October 7th, Hamas launched the most deadly war on Jews since the Holocaust. They killed 1,200 innocent people. They took 250 hostages. 100 of them are still being held hostage. I know members of families of hostages who are still being held, American citizens. Hamas could end this war today by surrendering. They've chosen not to surrender. Instead, they spent billions of dollars building terror tunnels below civilian areas. It is not incumbent on the Israeli government to surrender just because terrorists are evil enough to hide behind civilians. The Israeli government has gone through such extraordinary efforts not to kill civilians that it has managed the best civilian to terrorist kill ratio in the history of urban warfare, and it is not close. I personally know soldiers who have gone door to door in the Gaza Strip who have risked their own lives to prevent civilian death. Israel has complete and utter air superiority over the Gaza Strip. Turns out that Hamas doesn't have an air force. They just had a series of tunnels where they hid all their leadership while their people suffered, after their people voted for them, and then they effectively established a dictatorship over the course of the last 20 years. Israel, with their complete air superiority, certainly would have had the ability to commit full-scale human atrocities had they wanted to. They have complete air superiority. They could have used F-35s and simply turned the place into a parking lot. They did not, in fact, do that. They moved vast scales of population. In fact, believe it or not, there have been more births in the Gaza Strip since the beginning of this war than there have been deaths in the Gaza Strip from the war itself. That is a very poor way to conduct a genocide. Israel is being more meticulous in the conduct of this war than any army in human history, and certainly than the United States Army in its vast role in the history of urban combat. That is uncontested. What is Israel supposed to do? Simply say that you get to play tag, you take Israeli citizens, you kill 1,200 people, you hide behind a baby, you hide behind a civilian, and now Israel has to preemptively surrender? That is a great way to make sure that terrorists always win. What Israel has done ought to be celebrated by the Western world because they've demonstrated that if terrorists decide to launch a war they cannot win, they will be eviscerated from the face of the earth as they ought to be.
Do you not want a ceasefire now?
I do not want a ceasefire until Hamas is destroyed and all the hostages are back. I want... And you know how that could happen? It could have happened October 6th. There was a ceasefire on October 6th. And then there wasn't a ceasefire starting on October 7th. And there could have been a ceasefire again on October 8th, even after all of the death. If Hamas had surrendered its top leadership to international justice, if it had released all of its hostages, and if it had turned over its rulership of the Gaza Strip to some sort of decent body that wouldn't have reinstalled terrorism at the top of the food chain. I mean, what exactly is the excuse for Hezbollah getting involved in the war? Hezbollah isn't even in Israel. Hezbollah has nothing to do with Israeli territory, and they've been launching 8,000 rockets between October 7th and now. Now it's more like 12,000 or 13,000 rockets, hundreds of them every week. What is the justification for that? There's only one way to defeat terrorism, and that is to win. You do not win wars with ceasefires. You do not win wars by losing.
In your speech, you mentioned that there are scavengers who like to tear down and there are lions who like to build up. Are there not some institutions we ought to tear down in society, potentially like the Israeli Defense Force?
I think it would be an act of the gravest evil to even make that contention, simply because the Israeli Defense Force stands between 7.5 million Jews in Israel and complete slaughter. And by the way, over 2 million Arabs and complete slaughter who are citizens of the state of Israel. The only security and peace in the region right now is being guaranteed by the Israeli military. That is the only force standing between that region and continued chaos. The destruction of the IDF is the destruction of Israel. That means a genocide, a true genocide. The thing that everybody likes to ignore in the Middle East while they're claiming genocide and while they are claiming apartheid is that there's only one area in that specific area that is free of one ethnicity and religion, and it is quote-unquote Palestine, which has 0 Jews living in it. If you drive through the West Bank, there are giant red signs if you drive into the Palestinian Authority areas saying Jews are not allowed in here. And if you drive there without the permission of the Israeli government as a Jew, you will be killed. If you're a Palestinian and you accidentally make your way into Israel, nothing will happen to you. You will go back to Nablus in the evening. If you make it through the checkpoint accidentally, you'll go back. And if you're a Jew and you accidentally drive into Ramallah, you will not emerge alive. That is not, if we are talking about which force here is a force for good and which force here is a force for evil, there is no question what the distinction is. If we're going to talk about institutions that ought to be torn down, we should start with the legacy media, which seems to have radically misinformed you.
And that is exactly what we're dealing with in our generation with the young, where they're so wrapped up in this, in the liberal leftist perspective, creating a narrative, not realizing what Israel has done in the last 77 years, what it has contributed to the world. Ask the world to compare how much have they invented and created in the whole Arab world to provide to society. Israel Defense Force is what it stands for, IDF, Defense Force. It's there just to defend those that are there. Both the Israelis and the Arabs that are living in Israel, they are defending. What happened on October 7 could have ended October 8. If Hamas would have returned the hostages and put the arms down, there would be peace. But instead, Hamas chose war. They chose death over life. And Israel has lost close to 900 soldiers in this war because they were trying to serve and spare as many citizens as possible. No other army in the world goes through the lengths that Israel does. What other army in the world sends electric and water to its enemy? What other army in the world drops leaflets and says, okay, clear this area because we're coming? What other army in the world has shown compassionate in the war when fighting Hamas, who is the polar opposite, the axis of evil, of darkness, who loathes death more than life? and would sacrifice all of its Palestinian citizens for its own agenda. And that is precisely what they have done, where they have stashed all of the missiles and ammunition under preschools, under schools, under hospitals. This is the war that we are fighting. We did not ask for this war. We want to end this war. We want to bring the hostages home and give some peace, finally, for the citizens in Gaza who want to live in peace. Let's pray to God that peace should reign in Israel and throughout the world. God bless you. God loves you.
This was more than just a debate. It was a public schooling. A far-left anti-Israel student at Cambridge tried twisting facts and minimizing Hamas atrocities while calling Israel the real villain. But Charlie Kirk dismantled every lie with logic, with history, and moral clarity. And this is exactly why we need to speak up louder than ever. Watch this.
And the final question that we've got time for today is from Sammy McDonald from St. John's College.
Good evening, Mr. Kirk. You've obviously devoted a lot of your life to electing, keeping in power Donald Trump, and you did so partly because you said Trump would put Americans first and take them out of foreign conflicts. Shall we see how that is going at the moment? Currently, Trump has just accepted a $400 million debt from Qatar, which we're assured is perfectly above board. Billions in arms are going to Saudi Arabia, which they're using to bomb and starve Yemeni children. Not sure how that's in the interest of the United States, but it might be in the interest of the $5.5 billion deal his failed sons are receiving. At the same time, this great president of peace has greenlit mass killings not just in Yemen, but in Gaza, where he greenlit an invasion called Operation Gideon's Chariot, with the express aim of wiping out the Gazan population. You promised to put America first. Haven't you and your ilk sold America out?
No.
Well, I'm glad you have great intellectual substance and can answer. Because it's all the culture wars for you, isn't it? The second someone actually tells you what you're doing, which is bread.
Can you
and
calm down a
circus.
little bit? Like, just a little bit? Pounding the table, you're all over the place. No. You want me to go piece by piece? Or would you like me to talk slower?
I think you can...
Number one, Donald Trump is convening a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. Joe Biden gave them armaments.
That's going well, isn't it?
It's
going well.
Can you not interrupt me?
well.
I allowed you to talk uninterrupted.
You're famous for not interrupting.
Yeah, I haven't interrupted a single person here today. Can I speak uninterrupted, actually? Okay. He is convening a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. I believe we will see an end to that war. Number two, he's actually talking to Iran and discouraging Israel to strike the interior of Iran, and has stopped many other international countries to do the same. Number three, can you give him credit for ending the Indian-Pakistan war?
Both of them said he didn't do that.
Well, hold on a second.
Let's go back.
No, that's important.
Russia, Ukraine.
Hold on, that's important.
Can I speak now?
Yes, but the Indian-Pakistan thing, you got to go deeper than that.
Let's go in order. Is a peace summit where the main person in question, Russia, doesn't show up, is that a success, Mr. Kirk?
I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure.
Is that a success?
Well, again, these are ongoing negotiations, and it's a lot better than when your Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, went alongside our Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, to Istanbul and unnecessarily blew up a potential Russian peace deal, which has resulted in hundreds of thousands of dead Ukrainians, one of the great unnecessary wars of the modern era. Donald Trump believes in conversation and police through strength. He has been president for well over 120 to 130 days, and he has already ended a war between two nuclear conflicts of India-Pakistan. He has secured our own U.S. southern border while we were being invaded by foreign powers. And thirdly, he is brokering a potential settlement with Iran that will prevent a major escalation in the Middle East. And finally, it is very difficult, but I believe they'll get it done, that will finally see an end to the Russian-Ukrainian war.
I'm just going to disregard the enormous lies you just put out there about Russia and Ukraine. Okay. But do you really think leverage, negotiations work if you cut off all your leverage and scream at one party in the Oval Office? Don't you think that has just emboldened Russia? Because look at the approach. Putin thinks so much of your glorious president, he can't even be asked to show up. You have elected, or help elect, somebody who is at best an idiot and at worst is deeply corrupt.
Okay, again, so Trump and Putin had a 2-hour phone call today. You'll acknowledge that's a good thing. The pursuit of peace can sometimes be a winding road, and it's a lot better than sending hundreds of billions of dollars further into the killing fields of eastern Ukraine, something that tragically both the UK government and the US government has been unnecessarily supporting for a couple of years. President Trump wants to see a brokerage, an ending of this settlement. I pray we can get it. It's very complicated because of the mess that Joe Biden left, which was an active kinetic war with a nuclear power sending American-made missiles into the interior of Russia. So President Trump has already ended a war. He's ended an invasion. He's only 130 days into this. And I believe, we do not know. At this point, we are merely speculating, which I think we should not spend our time doing that, because eventually one of us will be right. I believe we'll be right, and I believe we'll see an end to this war.
Can we just talk about 100 billions worth of weapons? Because you dodged my question on what was going on in the Middle East, where Trump has just signed enormous arms contracts with Saudi Arabia and with Qatar. And I noticed you ignored the fact that this might have had anything to do with the blatant corruption going on through the Trump coin and going on through giving the very competent sons of Donald Trump billions of investment from Saudi Arabia and Qatar. This is something that is directly embroiling Americans into conflict, but is importantly killing many innocent people. Those nations have been known to terrorize innocent civilian populations. So if you're coming to me and you're objecting to America selling weaponry, why are you defending shilling for the Saudis?
Well, hold on. One is sending weaponry, one is purchasing. Secondly, you do know that the biggest purchase that was announced was commercial airliner, 737, $100 billion. We've heard of Qatar Airways. They purchased $100 billion of commercial airways. You are right, there were some weapons contracts. But I guess the question is, would you rather have Saudi Arabia buy weapons from America or China?
I'd rather they not have American weaponry at cut price rates.
See, I disagree.
Let's talk about Qatar for a second.
Okay, fine.
You mentioned Qatar. You've been talking a lot about Hamas and the evils of Hamas. Can I ask you, who's the main funder of Hamas?
Well, the Palestine...
State?
Well, the West actually funds Hamas.
Which state?
Well, Iran funds...
No.
Also,
where are the Hamas leaders?
And also Qatar funds Hamas. It is a combination of international relief organizations.
Is this a state which should have a 400 million jet with the President of the United States on it?
Hold on. First of all, it was not given to him personally. I understand the optics of it, but it was not given to him personally. It was given to the U.S. government. And under that standard, no U.S. government should ever receive any gifts from any foreign countries whatsoever. It's not given to him personally and not a violation of the...
Then why is he trying to transfer it to his personal library? He is.
Not, actually. Okay, again, he sent out a statement. This is way too in the weeds. If you want to keep on going it, we can.
It's not in the weeds. It's a fundamental moral principle.
Okay, so under that fundamental moral principle then, can you acknowledge, though, that President Trump is getting more done in a less period of time than any president we've seen, while our prior president did not even know what year he got elected? You understand the contrast here?
Whataboutism again? I'm not a defender of Biden.
I'm not saying President Trump is far better than the predecessor.
You have to defend the person you spent millions to elect.
I will defend every day of someone who ends an invasion.
That's all you do,
who brings down the price of oil, who is revitalizing the American economy, who's brokering peace, who stopped the potential nuclear war, who is bringing Iran to the table and bringing Russia to the table, someone who does not want armed conflicts with the greatest powers of our time. I will defend that endlessly. What are you defending?
In a fantasy world of your own creation. So it's quite hard
you
to engage
that,
with.
But then disprove it.
Let's check on how Trump is doing in terms of diplomacy. Look, with the war in the Middle East, do you think it was a defensible decision to tell the Israelis you wanted Trump Gaza to agree for Israel to invade the Gaza Strip and to continue to murder thousands of innocent children and civilians in a pointless war? Is that in America's interest? Is that in humanity's interest?
Well, first of all, you should know something about Trump. There's something, if you realize with Trump over the last 10 years, he is quite the social media user and uses hyperbolic language at times. But let me ask you, in the conflict of Israel versus Hamas, who's the good guy?
I just want to say this is a brilliant question to ask him because he's getting right to the core where you can't, hide in the weeds as he referenced before.
Both Hamas and the Israeli government are evil, but I think also there is no justification.
Are they equally?
There is no justification for the murder and mutilation of thousands of innocent people and children in a futile...
Let's zero in on that.
There is no justification, Mr. Kirk, for invading hospitals, for bombing innocent populations and dragging out a war which is damaging Israel and the West's security.
You've made that point, but...
Well, it's not a point, it's a moral truth, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. It was also a moral truth that the war started because 1,300 Jews were killed and 200 were taken hostage. And when you declare war on Israel, expect a firestorm in reaction. Let me finish, I let you talk. Israel, at its holiest day, of the calendar year besides Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, Samat Torah, the 50-year anniversary of the Six-Day War. On Shabbat, Hamas invaded Israel, deciding to go recklessly to music concerts, to homes, to kibbutzes, and taking 200 plus hostages. They knew what they were doing. In one of the most cloistered urban environments on the planet, 2 million people live in a place where it's impossible to wage war. Impossible. Where they wear civilian clothing, they violate every tenet of the Geneva Convention, and the IDF, when they do something right, they get no credit. When they do life-saving surgeries of a Gazan child, they get no credit. When they drop leaflets, they get no credit. But when they happen to bomb a place where they are operating their military from, which we now know from third-party verified sources, hundreds of Hamas military operations are in mosques, schools, and hospitals. I'm sorry, the country where they were living in relative peace on October 6th, that all of a sudden we had a war, and Hamas started the war. And I don't see people that were really upset about the 2 million Germans that were killed in World War II, civilians. A tragic truth of war is that civilians die. I don't like it, and you don't like it. And they brought it upon themselves. The only operation and entity to blame is the leadership of Hamas, not the Israeli government, for fighting this defensive war after they were invaded.
Very powerful. And unfortunately, with this clown that's opposing him, jumping around and getting a kick out of some applause that he's getting, Charlie Kirk has to get much more forceful with him and direct.
I'm no defender of the terrible pogrom that was launched against Jews on that day. But the justification for the death of innocents cannot be an infinite cycle of bloodlust. It cannot be killing tens of thousands of innocent civilians with a war with no end in sight, people who are not complicit in those atrocities. It cannot be bombing hospitals which children use. It cannot be bombing hospitals in which cancer patients are dying and starving in there. The deaths that have been inflicted, nobody knows the true toll, but somewhere between 50 and 100,000 people lie dead under the rubble. And what is left for Gaza except for to continue to suffer under Hamas? Because it turns out Netanyahu's political strategy has not worked. It has entrenched Hamas within the territories. To be a Christian, I would have thought, Mr. Kirk, would never have involved suggesting that the price for an atrocity must be an infinite cycle of bloodlust, that innocent people and the young population must be killed to avenge some kind of providential quest. How can you call yourself a Christian? Well, you just did.
I want to make sure we get our moral clarity straight before we proceed. No one likes what's happening in Gaza. No one with a heart or a soul or a mind likes when kids die. But you must understand who started the conflict so that you could end it correctly. And until Hamas brokers an unconditional surrender, of which they are unwilling to do, they could release the hostages and drop their weapons and their lives would be spared. Instead, they are using children of Gaza as cannon fodder, financed by the Iranian mullahs and dragging the entire world into this conflict. So I don't even know what we're debating at this point other than I believe that Israel, I believe the facts, Israel was unconditionally attacked on October 7th. They're responding in kind. And I would just ask you a very simple moral question. How should Israel have responded?
This is an excellent question because there are people who are always critics. I'll tell you the problem, I'll tell you the problem, I'll tell you the problem. Don't tell me the problem. Tell me what you can do that would be better. Because that's the question people can't answer, and that's the question Charlie Kirk is posing to this guy now.
Not with the blanket carpet bombing of the city, not with bombing hospitals. Of course, some kind of military operation might have been necessary, but not murder on this scale.
Just notice he's not answering the question. He's continuing to say what they shouldn't do because he has no idea what they should do.
There is no justification for what is happening with the enormous death toll that is being produced. I really cannot see how you come here and you have the gall to lecture us on Christian morality and then sit here and justify the murder of thousands of civilians. And is it working, Mr. Kirk? Is Hamas dismantled?
I've never said that.
You just did.
Well, no,
this is your whole
in
thing.
war, these are called casualties of a war.
We're going to need to stop bringing this
Again, I'm not going to justify every military maneuver of 100,000 person army. Instead, what I will do is I'll be clear that there is a good guy and there is a bad guy. I honestly...
Isn't that the morality of a child?
Well, hold on. It's interesting you say that, because a child who knows that Israel is the good guy, Hamas is bad, has a lot more wisdom than a student like yourself at Cambridge University.
I will be glad that I will not have been somebody who has defended the genocide of the Palestinian people, and I think you will have to reckon one day that you have reckoned with...
Interesting. I want to close on this. So can you tell me what African country is currently ongoing a civil war?
Believe it or not, I know about Sudan because I'm not an idiot.
How about what Southeast Asian country has an ethnic cleansing going on right now?
Myanmar.
Good. And you have strong opinions on both sides?
Unlike you, I take an effort to be informed about foreign policy and to come to conclusions. You are a culture warrior. I believe when everything is done, Mr. Kirk, people will see you and the people you've supported as corrupt, as selling the country out to the lowest bidder, and of doing irreparable damage to a country I'm sure we all deep down love.
The difference,
I think you will have to reckon with that.
Difference
Mr. Kirk.
is when... The difference is when we get our way, we'll still have a country, and your country will be a third world hellhole.
What a powerful ending, to say the truth. I don't think, unfortunately, there are certain people you can't really, this isn't a dialogue. This is, him yelling at Charlie Kirk. He's not open for conversation. There is no one that he's really having a conversation with. You're able to see his emotional disposition the entire time. I think the most important point Charlie Kirk said is, a child who knows who the good guy and bad guy is in this story has more wisdom than you do as a Cambridge student. And that is the tragedy of what's going on in our colleges today, that the education is actually removing basic common sense from people. And that makes for a very dangerous world.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So today we're going to be once again talking about our favorite champagne socialist, Hasan Piker. Now, the reason we're talking about him is because he's crashing out over the reaction to his latest puff piece, this time released by GQ, where even his own fans are calling it cringe, making him even more upset. And he's also going to talk about many different parties in this article, including the usual suspects for him, the people who live rent-free in his head. I'm talking, of course, about Ethan Klein and Asmongold as well. Now, as always, make sure to like, comment, or subscribe. You guys get the drill at this point. So let's jump right into today's video. Now, there's been a long string of puff pieces made about Hasan Piker. His PR budget must be through the roof. We've seen some classics recently, like this one by the New York Times titled "A Progressive Mind in a MAGA Body. Hasan Piker pumps iron, likes weapons, and wears pearls." Amazing stuff. And then we have this one from NPR, where you can see the title, "Hasan Piker, a himbo gateway drug to the left? Not to be dramatic, but would you die for Hasan Piker?" As you can see, the reception has been great on these puff pieces, but this is the most recent source, GQ magazine. And I don't know if you guys are like me. I remember GQ magazine being on the shelves when I was a kid, and it's been many, many years since I've heard about them, and I am shocked. I am floored they're not bankrupt. Honestly, it's a miracle they're still around. Now, for those not familiar, this is their About section, who we are. GQ is the global flagship of men's fashion, the arbiter of cool for anyone who sees the world through the lens of taste and style. Honestly, Hasan Piker is a great fit for a group of self-important narcissists like this who think they're the arbiter of anything cool and anything to do with taste or style. Now brace yourselves, we're going to look at the cover image of this piece on Hasan Piker. Wow. That's all I can say. Wow. This has to be bait at this point. What is he doing, man? You can see he's really letting it all hang loose, and honestly, it goes right with his strategy. I mean, his fan base is going to gobble stuff like this up, and they're going to give him even more support because they care more about how he looks than the practicality of the things that he's saying. And you can see his head, again, is so disproportionately small to his body. It's like medically fascinating. I'm not even saying this to be mean or anything. It is medically fascinating how disproportionate his head is to the rest of his body. But anyways, you can see the headline, Hasan Piker thinks America might be cooked. Well, they're definitely cooked if this guy's supposed to be like the inspiration for the youth politically, but you can see the small intro here. Martial law canceled elections. The combative leftist streamer Hassan Piker. I'm pretty sure he hates being associated with the left, but anyways, he predicts an ominous possible future for the U.S. He's fighting back the only way he knows how, by raging against Trump, Israel, Democrats, and the wannabe bad boys of the manosphere. This is a real article. Someone got paid to write this. Now, things get really crazy when you start reading sections of the article, and you really quickly understand the kind of situation we're dealing with here in terms of coverage. This is a real passage, okay? His Bernese beefcake Kaya tussles with a few other golden brown dogs as Piker burns through his 70-minute workout, exhausting himself in the process. He strips his shirt off. An army of girls and gays, not to mention admiring looks maxers, would kill to be where I am now, next to Piker, as he pants in a pair of neon shorts with black Calvin Klein boxers poking out and sunlight glistening off the sweat beaded on his chest hairs. This literally reads like erotica. This is literally like an erotic fan fiction someone wrote about him. But no, this is an author contributing to GQ, a magazine that's been around for decades. Someone got paid money to write this absolute slop. It's insane. And here's some more pictures that they made of Hassan Piker, captioned, Medicare for all, TRT for all, Ozempic for all, HRT for all, including children? That's my argument, Hassan Piker says. And you gotta trust him. He's a conventionally attractive man striking a pose like this. You gotta believe him, right? He's got all the answers. This is pretty much what GQ is going for. And it's really what Hassan's going for at this point. But when you start asking, Hassan, make the rich pay Piker, how do you achieve these goals? Because his politics reads like a wish list. I want this. We should have that. So on and so forth. But if you ask him, how are we going to do that? How does that actually come into place? There's no answer. Crickets. And even worse yet, he would never sacrifice anything of his own to make it happen. This guy lives in a $3 million home, drives a $200,000 luxury car. He is not going to be bothered to do any sort of contribution to make this happen, even as a self-proclaimed socialist. Now, there's one more little, oh God, brace yourselves again. This is the photo a lot of people are really making fun of right now, but what I found very interesting about this is that Hassan reposted this, where it says Taylor Swift has likely seen the new GQ photo of Hassan Piker in bathtub featured in the same issue as her current boyfriend Travis Kelce. Why would he repost this? Why would he care about this? It's so weird. It shows the level of vanity here. It's all about showing off his looks to not just people, but celebrities he's trying to get attention from. And in this case, secondary attention, incidental attention, just by being in the same magazine as Taylor Swift's boyfriend. But anyways, you knew it was coming, right? He does anything, there's got to be a link to Asmongold. Asmongold lives so rent-free in this guy's mind, it even shows itself in interviews completely unprompted. And for context, before we get into the segments about Asmon in the actual article, let's look at a clip from a few days ago where Hassan calls out Asmongold and how he's brainwashing the youth and corrupting them with his political views. How ironic, am I right?
I know that there's a lot of people who started watching me when they were like 12. I know that. And they just like grew up watching me, which is good, I think. Under different circumstances, I say is bad, but I know what that environment looks like outside. Like, could you imagine a 12-year-old learning politics from like watching Andrew Tate or like Asmongold or something? You know what I mean? That's like, oh, devastating. That is you're just getting one-shotted from the jump. You're coming into an environment where you're just like, I am going to learn everything on the opposite side of reality. New kids in corporate settings are talking like that chatter. It's insane, law. Yeah, you got spawn camped. It's over. You have to hit a reset. It's over. You took L after L from the start.
So now that we've seen that clip from just a few days ago, it makes this section of the GQ interview even more ironic. So in the interview, he talks about some young Democratic influencers like Dean Withers and Harry Sisson, where basically he makes it very clear that he's trying to influence what they can or can't do. He's literally trying to alter how they should act. Doesn't that sound very ironic after the clip we just watched? Both of these guys, I'm pretty sure they're like 20 or 21, but here's the actual quote. He's also trying to mentor new establishment Dem influencers like Dean Withers and Harry Sisson. I told Dean personally, 1, stop with this liberalism stuff. What does he mean by that? Cut it out. Become more leftist. And 2, try to do things that are not just debate focused, he says. They're not listening to me, so who knows? Interesting stuff, trying to tell these guys what to do. The same thing that he's accusing Asmongold of doing. But the funny thing about this is, Hassan, you can have him. Like, nobody wants Dean Withers. This is the same guy, in case you're not familiar, who had an absolute crash out when one of his viewers on TikTok pointed out the fact that he's smoking on a vape.
I'm sorry that I have anxiety. Okay, and honestly, yeah, it is kind of the fault of people like you that want to come up here and bully and berate me over something that I don't do. Okay, so cut it. It's not a vape. All right, it's an anxiety pin, and God, the amount of times that I've asked you to respect me and respect my anxiety pin is, at this point, getting ridiculous, Cody. So please,
justified crash out
for the final and for the billionth time, will you please just respect the fact that it's not a vape and that it's an anxiety pin?
It's a goddamn anxiety pen. Get it right.
What flavor is your vape?
Yo, you really got me.
Get the
for this.
Get the out!
Yeah, the future looks really bright, guys. The future looks really bright. But anyways, this continues on with some more clips here from Hassan in his latest stream, where he's reacting to people going over the GQ article. And basically, he's seeing a lot of backlash from his opponents. I think everyone knew that would happen, right? People who don't like Hassan are going to look at that and laugh at it. Even Hassan knows that, but there's something that's really making him upset. It's the fact that his own chat is starting to roast him over this stuff. And he starts getting very defensive, which is not too surprising. And he begins to, once again, invoke Asmongold. And he says, basically, guys, don't be like Asmongold fans. Like, they can't even criticize him without being labeled Asmongold fans. This is rent-free on another level.
It's not that I think it hurt your feelings, but definitely does not paint a positive view to the general public as someone who should be listened to about politics. You're wrong about that. Only this community will see their favorite streamer get a major magazine article and go, actually, no, this sucks. You shouldn't like this and be happy. I know. But they're wrong. And I think that there's no reason to even go back and forth on whether or not this is negative framing, especially considering that my idiotic, drama-laden haters are probably going to do that over and over again, and the same dumb that were like, oh, well, I told you this was bad, will then relitigate those cynical criticisms because they're fucking jealous, let's be real, and they will bring that back over here to be like, see, I told you. See, Asmongold said this article sucks. Well, Asmongold doesn't know how to read. Why do you care about what his perspective is? You know? There's already plenty relatively sizable communities that literally make it a pivotal part of their content to just like consistently undermine every single thing that I do. I am an experienced media personality. I have an understanding of how these things work. This is literally my professional job. And I'm telling you, my assessment of this is that this is a very good, very humanizing piece, especially considering that it shows the full scope. Okay. It shows that I'm brash. It shows that I can be edgy, but it also does not hide that I am a progressive figure who is genuine, who believes in the things that I speak out on, and I'm hard-headed and stubborn.
So moving on from that side of the video, we're going to another part of the interview where Hassan tackles the terrorism allegations. Imagine being in a place as a content creator, influencer, whatever you want to call him, and having to constantly deal with terrorism allegations, where he says this: you have a guy like me, name is Hassan, and I'm saying no, you don't understand. Israel is still very much the responsible party for October 7th, for like 75 years of brutal occupation and apartheid. And now people are like, oh, you're a terrorist? And that really hasn't gone away. Well, the thing is about the October 7th comments, he denies the rapes that were documented from that attack, but that's, you know, one of the reasons people go after him for that. But this comment about, oh, you're a terrorist, and he's saying that doesn't go away, I mean, it started long before any of those comments about October 7th. Like, a lot of people more aptly have claimed he's a terrorist supporter. And, you know, is it really surprising people are doing that? And it's also interesting that GQ would even interview someone like this in the first place. You know, a guy who said very clearly years ago that he believes America deserved 9/11. He's the same guy who platforms and also glazed up a known Houthi terrorist. He's also the guy who said that he doesn't have an issue with the designated terrorist organization Hezbollah, and also praised Yemen Houthis for seizing civilian ships. I mean, I can't believe someone would say something like that. I can't believe he'd have to dispel these sorts of claims after his history like this. But anyways, it's all a part of the plan, ladies and gentlemen. It's all a part of the plan. So all of this PR he's doing, all of this is what he describes as terrorism insurance.
In my opinion, the GQ article bookends really well with the NPR piece from the other day. They're both something you can point to normie libs if they have questions about Hassan, the terrorist supporting guy. Exactly. Exactly. Precisely. That is the whole point. A lot of these articles are just like terrorism insurance. Remember that. Okay? This is something you show your parents. This is something you show like fucking insane haters and whatnot.
Bravo. I mean, what else can you do but clap for this guy at this point? He's like a circus monkey, right? He's giving us endless entertainment. This guy is facing down these legitimate criticisms about what he said about terrorist organizations and terrorist attacks, and he just responds by saying, well, I'm doing all this PR to get terrorism insurance, so if somebody sees this who's a normie, I'm going to have some benefit of the doubt because of these puff pieces. It's just out in the open. He's unashamedly admitting to what's going on here and what he's trying to do with this massive PR movement he's been doing over the past couple of months, if not longer. And of course, we get these allegations, right, that this is all rage bait. I don't really know at what point rage bait is worth it anymore, when it just makes the people who don't like you not like you further, and the people who do like you start to question you a bit. And you can see some of the quotes where he's literally trying his best to be edgy, with another banger photo or example of the one from the cover where GQ shares this right here saying, Hassan Piker on Zohran Mamdani. Big Z's the man. He's great. He's going to implement woke Sharia in New York. Very excited about that. All the buildings have to face Mecca. That kind of good stuff. It's not even like good rage bait. It's just like, at this point, like you pretty much have to associate this with his real beliefs, because this is not far off at all to what he normally would say or believe. He's trying to claim this is all rage bait, but it's not really working. It's not a very valid defense anymore. But you knew at some point
Bless you. 自由に羽ばたいてこの希望を装填して大丈夫このままさ私の手を取って今日という日を祝って笑って愛して光になるから鼓動鳴らして消えない傷を抱えていても眠れない骨に噛んでいても君に似合う笑顔を探す期待していてよ飛び立つ空に祈り打ち放て目覚めた命今も生きるんだ守れるものはこの瞬間だけ一緒に行こう私を信じて声が聞こえた未来へこのきらめきは誰も消せないよ守れるのなら引き金を引こう祝福をしよう新たな願いを楽しいことを選んでいこうやりたいことを全部やろう悩むことは何もないよ惑う暇はない光あれと願う嘘暗闇打ち抜いてアップルパイ片手にねどこまでも行けそうずっと夢から覚めないこのまま気づいて私の翼で壊して描いたそれ飛び立つ空に祈り打ち放て目覚めた命今も生きるんだ守れるものはこの瞬間だけ一緒に行こう私を信じてほら 私の手を取ってほら自由に羽ばたいてこの希望を装填して大丈夫このままさ私の手を取って今日という日を祝って笑って愛して光になるから鼓動鳴らして消えない傷を抱えていても眠れない骨に噛んでいても君に似合う笑顔を探す期待していてよ飛び立つ空に祈り打ち放て目覚めた命今も生きるんだ守れるものはこの瞬間だけ一緒に行こう私を信じて声が聞こえた未来へこのきらめきは誰も消せないよ守れるのなら引き金を引こう祝福をしよう新たな願いをほら楽しいことを選んでいこうやりたいことを全部やろう悩むことは何もないよ惑う暇はない光あれと願うそう暗闇打ち抜いてアップルパイ片手にねどこまでも行けそうずっと夢から覚めないこのまま気づいて私の翼で壊して描いた空飛び立つ空に祈り打ち放て目覚めた命今も生きるんだ守れるものはこの瞬間 して大丈夫このままさあ私の手を取ってほら自由に羽ばたいてこの希望を装填して大丈夫このままさあ私の手を取って今日という日を祝って笑って愛して光になるから鼓動鳴らして消えない傷を抱えていても眠れない骨に噛んでいても君に似合う笑顔を探す期待していてよ飛び立つ空に祈り打ち放て目覚めた命今も生きるんだ守れるものはこの瞬間だけ一緒に行こう私を信じて声が聞こえた未来へこのきらめきは誰も消せないよ守れるのなら引き金を引こう祝福をしよう新たな願いをほら楽しいことを選んでいこうやりたいことを全部やろう悩むことは何もないよ惑う暇はない光あれと願うそう暗闇打ち抜いてアップルパイ片手にねどこまでも行けそうずっと夢から覚めないこのまま気づいて私の翼で壊して描いたそれ飛び立つ空に祈り打ち放て目覚めた命今も生きるんだ守れるもの して大丈夫このままさあ私の手を取ってほら自由に羽ばたいてこの希望を装填して大丈夫このままさあ私の手を取って今日という日を祝って笑って愛して光になるから鼓動鳴らして消えない傷を抱えていても眠れない骨に噛んでいても君に似合う笑顔を探す期待していてよ飛び立つ空に祈り打ち放て目覚めたい命今も生きるんだ守れるものはこの瞬間だけ一緒に行こう私を信じて声が聞こえた未来へこのきらめきは誰も消せないよ守れるのなら引き金を引こう祝福をしよう新たな願いをほら楽しいことを選んでいこうやりたいことを全部やろう悩むことは何もないよ惑う暇はない光あれと願うそう暗闇打ち抜いてアップルパイ片手にねどこまでも行けそうずっと夢から覚めないこのまま気づいて私の翼で壊して描いた空飛び立つ空に祈り打ち放て目覚めた命今も生きるんだ守れる して大丈夫このままさあ私の手を取ってほら自由に羽ばたいてこの希望を装填して大丈夫このままさあ私の手を取って今日という日を祝って笑って愛して光になるから鼓動鳴らして消えない傷を抱えていても眠れない骨に噛んでいても君に似合う笑顔を探す期待していてよ飛び立つ空に祈り打ち放て目覚めた命今も生きるんだ守れるものはこの瞬間だけ一緒に行こう私を信じて声が聞こえた未来へこのきらめきは誰も消せないよ守れるのなら引き金を引こう祝福をしよう新たな願いをほら楽しいことを選んでいこうやりたいことを全部やろう悩むことは何もないよ惑う暇はない光あれと願うそう暗闇打ち抜いてアップルパイ片手にねどこまでも行けそうずっと夢から覚めないこのまま気づいて私の翼で壊して描いた 自由に羽ばたいてこの希望を装填して大丈夫このはしゃぎたいよ昔みたいに無邪気にみんなで笑ってさ全部の瞬間シャボン玉一瞬のときめきで輝く私たとえ不器用でも諦めない悔しい涙なんてすぐ乾いちゃう負けない強い自分をくださいお願いどうか願いを叶えて I do my best 自分を愛してあげないと誰かに愛をあげられないの人と比べても意味がないよ私は私しかいないから負けない強い自分をくださいお願いどうか願いを叶えて I do my best あ、止まっちゃった。じゃあ皆さんクラップで歌いましょう。 Tell me tell me 鏡よ鏡一番好きな私になるの Tell me tell me 鏡よ鏡一番好きな私になるのあなたと私つながってるよ世界で一つオリジナルストーリーは無限
In 3.
Bye.